has shaken hands with paradise.
Be water, my friend.
Lights out, away we go.
Oof, God, I need a haircut. I look like Einstein or something with his mad hair. Anyways, hi guys, just cutting here before the full podcast. So obviously I've deleted and trimmed off the beginning of this because this was filmed just after the North London derby and the Manchester derby, and those things are not really relevant anymore. But we'll be talking more about sports and on the next episode of the podcast. What I have done is I've basically kept the second part of the video where we talk more about general things, and I thought it'd still be a good video to make, and obviously hopefully you got here from the shorts, and yeah, catch you guys next time and tell us what you would like in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. Peace.
Is there anything else you want to say on the Messi Ronaldo? We'll obviously expand on this in the future. We can talk about this.
I just want to say that they shouldn't really be compared, in my opinion.
Hey, that's the point I brought up.
Yeah, it's like, but at the same time, what I also want to say is there was a nice little post I saw, and it stated that it was showing off every decade who were the top two players, right? I think in 2000 you had Zidane and some other dude. I can't quite remember who that guy was. But
memorable, clearly.
then in 2010, the decade in 2010, it was apparently Ronaldinho and Henry. And then from 2010 onwards.
Who would you say won that? Henry or Ronaldinho?
Well, the thing is, I think Ronaldinho was on that list, or was the number one there, because oh yeah, sorry, basically because he brought so much to the game in terms of like personality that no one saw any of that sort of thing that time. Like he brought skills that were just not seen by anyone. He brought the level of football that no one was doing. He was kind of like a level of Messi, but then you had Henry, who didn't necessarily bring that, but he was like an all-round insane player. Like all round, he was covered.
I would say again it's very difficult because I wouldn't class Ronaldinho and Henry in the same sort of category. Again, it's much like Ronaldo and Messi. So one of the things I would say is that Messi is much more of a central roaming player that provides for the team, sees the game, right? His role is not the same as Ronaldo, who would like to take the team on as he's the spearhead essentially. But I was going to say, have you seen that clip of what Kobe Bryant said about Messi and Ronaldinho? So it was during an interview, and it's like, what do you think about Messi? I think it was what I was asked. And Kobe Bryant says he remembers once that he was speaking to Ronaldinho at an event that they were both at, and Ronaldinho says, "Oh, Kobe, I'm going to show you who the greatest player of all time is going to be." And Kobe was like, "But you're the greatest player of all time." And then he's like, No. I'm Ronaldinho, but this is the greatest player of all time." And it was a 17-year-old Lionel Messi.
Really?
Like he hadn't debuted yet.
So Ronaldinho said that, or Kobe?
Ronaldinho said that. And like obviously I'm a bit of a fanboy, so I've watched a lot of like Messi clips and stuff. There was also that like what Henry said about Messi. Like he basically said like like when you're at junior school or secondary school, middle school for you Americans, when you're playing soccer, but in the playground, right, where you would run past the top players, basically in the training ground sometimes when they were playing 7-on-7 or 5v5, and like a player puts in a tackle, but because you're self-refereeing, they say that's not a tackle, just get up. And apparently someone did that to Messi once on the training ground, and it was like half a pitch, so it was quite big, right? It's half a full-size pitch for 2 goals, and then Messi was like, "That's not a foul yet. That's not a foul." And then he goes to the goalkeeper, "Give me the ball," and he was just like, "That's exactly what he's like." And this is like Barcelona's first team, and Messi's going, "Goal, 1-0, ball, 2-0." Not a foul yet.
I think it wasn't his debut, because we all know what happened on his debut.
Yeah, if you don't know watch your shorts. But I would say that this is the argument that people have always thought until like this World Cup. I think like and also Copa America. I think people have always said that basically the reason why they wouldn't consider Messi anywhere near like GOAT, the argument against him was his international performances haven't been there, and I would argue that that's a bit unfair to him, to be fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, we've been talking about Messi and Ronaldo for a bit too long. I mean, it is one of the greatest debates and rivalries we've ever seen, and
Both of them
ever will see.
Yeah, but and also just like we got to remember, both of them have won competitive international like trophies.
Yes.
So one more than the other, but
Talking about competitive international things, let's move into a slightly different space. KSI, recent Misfits session. We've watched the highlights. Unfortunately, we were otherwise occupied during the live event. What do you think about, I mean, let's talk about the top 3 cards. I don't even know who Slim was actually fighting, so let's talk about KSI's fight and Salt Papi, which were the 2 I was interested in.
apparently Slim was fighting an actual fighter. Slim was fighting an actual fighter.
Okay. I mean, it did look like that. I didn't look that good.
I'd like to apologise just up front that I might be sneezing throughout the next segment.
YouTuber boxing scene. I heard that Jake Paul recently got his license and he's going to be fighting in MMA rather than boxing.
Yeah, but I think it's a different. It is MMA, but it's not. It's like a different league or something. It's gonna pull some UFC fighters in. I mean, even if he pulls in like 10-year retired UFC fighters, he's still getting banned.
You think so?
You okay? Tell me why you think he's not gonna get banned.
Look, I don't support Jake Paul in any way. I don't agree with his actions, I don't agree with his words, but I do think a lot of it's for theatre, okay? And if we're talking about entertainment, he knows how to rile people up. And I would say that a lot of people discredit him and don't think he puts in the work. And I would not want to be one of those people who basically don't give the devil his due. I think he's worked really hard at boxing. And we've seen how the Paul brothers are really athletic. And he does have a baseline in wrestling from his high school days. Like, not state winning level, but like a decent level.
Yeah.
So, do I think he has a chance against a pure out and out grappler who was at the peak of his prime and maybe he's just a bit past it? No. But do I think like he might be able to, you know, maneuver the rules in a way that would benefit him? I think he could. I don't think he will be as good as in boxing, but
What do you think? How do you think people will fight?
I think this is what's interesting. I do think people would try and go down the the grappling route, assuming he's weaker, because obviously we've got no footage of that. I think that's where he'll be tested first. If we find that, or I think another area of weakness, I do think that this is an area of weakness, kicking.
So I was waiting for you to mention that, because I think that is the number one thing that people are going to exploit him. Now I'm not saying you can't kick someone's leg, right? Because everyone can. But
It's about how to kick it.
yes, how you kick it and stuff. Like, he would have to take some time to condition his legs, right?
Yeah.
If he gets a solid kick on his leg, he could very easily fall on his ass and just get fucking annihilated. So that's an important aspect. And also,
Taekwondo person here, by the way, obviously. So knows what he's talking about when it comes to kicking. I'm just a casual fan, so.
but also like in boxing, I get you get tired and stuff like that, but there's so much more involved in MMA, and you could get so much more tired, and you could deplete yourself if you're not careful.
I don't think I think
how
he
much-
proved in his last fight that conditioning isn't an issue for him.
I still think it is. He proved that it is less of an issue, but I still think it's still an issue.
Fair.
I think Tyrell Woodley was tired.
Okay, then let's move this back towards boxing.
And Tyrell Woodley was MMA tired.
So moving back towards boxing itself. So the YouTuber boxing scene obviously had its biggest event. It had Salt Papi against Josh Bruckner.
Quality fair.
Quality fight. Yeah. So I'm quite a big Salt Papi fan. You know, represent for the Asians. Obviously he's Filipino and I'm Chinese, but you know, doesn't matter. Asian pride. I think he proved in that fight that, you know, I think he deserves to get a shot at like a KSI or someone of that caliber. I think he's grown his social media presence using boxing quite well. Over the course of about a year, I would say, we've seen him rise from the person who does the funny salt thing and the running on one spot with some old school videos with street fights to somebody who's like a legitimate, I think, in my opinion, the best naturally gifted boxer in the YouTuber boxing scene. I think he's more gifted than KSI, Deji, Jake Paul. We're talking pure just like innate ability. We're not talking about training, we're talking about conditioning. I don't think I've seen someone who has a decent social media presence, who has as much actual skill as he does. Now you can argue that I think KSI often makes up for his lack of skill with athletic ability and hard work and being quite unorthodox. I think Jake Paul relies a bit on his power and conditioning, and he works hard as well. I don't think Deji works hard enough, to be honest, despite winning his previous fight to Mayweather and then the Mayweather. What do you think?
It's difficult because I would have thought that Salt Papi would gas out against KSI and Jake Paul, because it's all about pace, isn't it? I don't think Salt Papi has been put through the paces like KSI has been, or Jake has, right? Remember, KSI, even though he's fought less times than Jake, he still has actually been been in the trenches.
Right? I think that's a fair point.
So we get to see what happens if Salt Papi is in there. Now, he is looking very great, like you said. Very difficult to think of anyone that kind of is to the same level that he is in terms of boxing skill or boxing knowledge. Jake Paul is probably there, and also I was gonna add, do you think what KSI said in an interview, I think after the fight, he was he was gonna have one more fight and then he was gonna fight Jake Paul. Now I like it when these boxers say these predictions and stuff and how they think their career is gonna flow in the next year or so, but it's never accurate.
I mean, I'm more inclined to trust KSI when he says this sort of stuff.
Well, because he leads.
He doesn't need it, but
he leads. Yes.
He leads, yeah, and also his community don't let him get away with stuff. Like Jake Paul can pull out stuff and lie, and his
community won't. But the thing is, when he says stuff like Dylan Dallas pulled out or this guy pulled out.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Though he's very open about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think let's move on. It is getting late. It's almost 2:30, and I still need to drive home. So I think let's finish on a couple of quick fire topics. Formula One season's starting in a couple months.
Yeah, February, March 7th, I think.
Some driver moves. We'll go in more in depth when we come up, but Drivers 5 starting and everything as well.
It's gonna be interesting.
What do you think of this season? Who are you rooting for? What do you think is gonna happen?
I'm a Mercedes fan, and I would like to see both Hamilton and Russell win a few races. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'd rather not have Max win another title. I either want Checo to win, someone from Ferrari, or Lando. I've said it here.
Let's go right now. Top 3 drivers, first, second, third. Just predictions.
Okay. So if Mercedes are on form to the level of,
we're making this into a short, quick predictions.
Okay. Start again.
No, just.
Oh.
So quick predictions. Your top 3 for this season, including, by the way, this includes bias and doesn't necessarily need rationale. We'll flesh it out closer to this season.
Russell, Hamilton, Max.
Okay. I am going to get my heart broken one more time.
We're gonna throw a Leclerc in there.
And I'm going to go Leclerc, Verstappen, Russell.
Yeah.
Okay, surprise driver of the year. Who do you think is going to perform better than Pastiri?
No, the other guy. The guy that came from Williams.
Ben Dyer. or whatever that name is, fine. I think
But I'm gonna be slaughtered.
I think that, you know what, I'm gonna back my boy and say that Zhou Guanyu's gonna break into the top 10.
Thank God he survived that crash at Silverstone.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. The Australian Open's going on currently.
Ooh, there's a lot of topics today.
I haven't watched any of the Australian Open.
So I read a few things. Murray has a tie. He's playing against Teddy. Teddy. So that's going to be a tough opponent. The rest we'll have to see.
Okay. Do you think Djokovic or Nadal are going to extend their Grand Slam titles this season?
Personally, I think Djokovic's going to win the Australian Open, hands down.
Has he been allowed back into Australia?
Yes, fortunately he has. Or unfortunately, more likely he has. The only reason I say unfortunately is because I want Nadal to keep the titles.
See, I personally feel that it was a little bit unfair last season to not allow Djokovic back for the Australian Open. I know how controversial it is. This is not a discussion about,
we had mixed feelings though, right? At different times. When we heard new information come out, we kind of changed our mind a bit, right?
Yes, but I would say that I personally disagree with how they handled the whole situation. I think you should be either very clear and open and transparent about your reasoning. If it's a mess up in administration, it's a mess up in administration.
Yeah.
But if you have two things, like, I don't even say that they should have let him in. I say that if you weren't going to let him in, you say that from the out. You don't go whatever. Right?
I think that was difficult because they didn't know the full information. They didn't know everything about it.
No, but they held the information. Yeah. It's very difficult to. Anyway, just get political. It's very difficult to know the whole situation if you withhold your mistakes. Like, if you don't own up to a mistake, especially one that can impact other people. Anyways, other sporting events, I should just call it there. I mean, I finished eating. I'm kind of ready to drive home. It's been a long day, guys.
Yeah. I think we can call it there, to be honest.
Cool. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I think you should try and expect a few more sort of long form videos from us. We're going to try and upload this as soon as possible. And actually, we can cut this into a short. It'll be easier. Thank you, everyone who's a subscriber.
Yep.
We've broken 500 subscribers.
Hopefully we have some sort of animation somewhere here.
Yay! I think you're uploading this, so there's not going to be much editing here.
Yeah.
But in the future, we'll do some editing. And yeah, expect more long form videos as well as shorts. Put in the comments anything you want us to do. Like,
go for it.
I think Julian said that he's recently watched, he's seen my watch history, and there's nothing dodgy on there. But I do watch a lot of YouTube, so I think you might be surprised that I might be interested or willing to talk or do videos on any topic you guys are interested in. Yeah. And any ideas you have for us to do in the future. So, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and peace.
And we're working our way to 1,000, so please continue to support us.
Yes. Next goal 1,000.
Subscribers.
And we'll do 1,000 subscriber special. We'll do 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out what we're giving away.
I'm not eating this apple pie, will I?
We'll give away the drug. Give away an apple pie.
Yeah.
Right. Peace.
You think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo, go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it.